Would you have Boris Johnson in UKIP?
Personally, I only speak for myself. I don't speak for our board and I don't speak for our leader. But for myself, absolutely not, no. Why on earth people seem to think that Boris is a saviour when he's the person that got us in this complete and utter farce to begin with, I'll never understand.
OK, go on. Just elaborate on that then. So there is a lot of sympathy out there for Boris Johnson at the moment, with a lot of people saying that they think he was ousted by a kangaroo court, and in fact some people saying that's actually quite offensive to kangaroos. But you appear to think that maybe he deserves everything he gets.
I do think he deserves everything he gets. You know, the Conservative Party is a mess. Rishi's a snake. Boris is a bumbling idiot. Like, it is what it is. He's the person who got us into this state that the country is currently in, and Rishi was by his side. So him pretending like he's the saviour is ridiculous too. Boris was the person who signed us up to net zero, for goodness sakes. He let us down on immigration, and he absolutely bumbling Boris created the worst Brexit actually possible. So, no, I don't think that Boris in the slightest is anybody that should be championing how good he is for this country when he completely and utterly destroyed it with Rishi by his side.
Boris definitely doesn't get a lot of flack for doing a lot of very unconservative things. I mean, the big net zero agenda is one that I think, you know, really, if people had had a much closer look at that, I think they would have said that it's not very Boris. The flip side to it, though, Rebecca, and this is something that scientists all around the world will be doing their best to try to figure out, which is that Boris Johnson can actually, in a weird way, be very honest with you about the kind of person he is, you know, has some previous indiscretions, shall we say, probably likes the odd glass of red wine, has maybe at times been slightly economical with the truth, but everyone goes, you know what, I want some more of this guy. And there's no kind of logical reason for it, but a lot of people, a lot of voters do. You mentioned there that you thought Rishi Sunak was a snake. Why do you say that?
Of course, he was Judas. He absolutely had a complete and utter plan to throw Boris under the bus and get rid of him, and he executed it well. He got what he wanted. But no, absolutely, you know, Boris, there was a point there that you made, and I've actually just lost it as to why I wanted to pick it back up with you again. But no, you think that he is, like, honest and all the rest of it. He's not. He's playing a character. He's not this, you know, guy around the corner and the guy that you'd meet on the street. He's not. He's playing you at a game, and he's well and truly brought a lot of people into this plan. You need to look past it. Look at the state of the country. The proof is in the pudding. Don't look at this, oh, I'm one of you, and I've made some mistakes.
To be honest, Rebecca, I you know, fully respect your view, of course I do, but you know, I do also look at the result of the last general election that we had, and it was absolutely stonking. And I think a lot of Red Wall MPs, a lot of people up north, I know that's your part of the world, so you obviously disagree, but a lot of people up north think, yeah, I would continue to vote for Boris again, and I just wonder whether or not he should be setting out on his own now, forging his own path, and deciding to join another political party and try and get some seats. But you're saying that you don't think that there's any room for him in UKIP.
Oh, goodness gracious me. You know what? I'm telling you now, Patrick, I've had it on a very good and reliable source that Boris has taken a very significant amount of money, and what he's going to use that money for, in my personal opinion, is that he's potentially going to start his own party. Do I think he's going to join one of us? No, I don't. I think that Reform will probably piggyback off the back of it and say, oh, he may do. No, he won't. But you know what? They can have him because he has created the worst Brexit that we know. And we actually want to get Brexit done because we were the party that actually started it. And actually what people voted for is what we said all along.
Do you think that there is something there, Rebecca, that's a little bit rum about the way that we can do politics in this country, where somebody can win a stonking majority at a general election, and then, you know, a few people on a committee can basically say, we're going to oust this guy, and then that's it. That's what happens. That's the kind of world that we live in. I mean, there does appear to now be, this is the new line that I'm going to talk shortly anyway to Christopher Hope, who is, of course, from The Telegraph. I mean, he's got his finger bang on the pulse when it comes to this stuff. But there is serious talk about, because Boris Johnson is saying that he doesn't respect the result of this kangaroo court, as he's calling it, that could lead to him essentially being in contempt of Parliament and being ousted from Parliament forever. I mean, we are veering into the realms of the kind of way that dictators handle the people who've just gone before them, isn't there? Which is to just brush them off and try and airbrush them from history. I mean, if this was happening in China, we'd probably be all right with it, wouldn't we?
Listen, the one thing that I have said all along, and it's the lesson that I learnt the first when I joined, obviously, UKIP as their deputy in September, October last year, politics is corrupt. wholeheartedly, it is corrupt. It's about people playing a game, and you've got to figure out what that game is and what the best move to make is. You've got a whole lot of people who are selfish, looking after themselves and whatever is the best game to be now playing and whatever their best move is. Rishi played a move. He won. Now Boris is playing another one, and what his next one's going to be, I think you should all sit back and get ready.